All right, everybody. In a world overrun by colossal machines is where we find the video game Light of Motiram by Tencent. However, it looks pretty familiar, and Sony agrees. So,
Can I just say you started that off by reading it like it was a trailer for a movie? In a world.
thank you.
You're
I,
welcome.
I feel like I weirdly do that sometimes. All right, guys, but as I was saying, the Light of Motiram looks very familiar, and honestly, Sony agrees. So much so that they are now suing Tencent, saying the upcoming game, Light of Motiram, is illegally similar to Horizon Forbidden West and Horizon Zero Dawn in everything from creature design to protagonist to marketing materials. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and take the official reveal trailer. So this is the official reveal trailer of Light of Motiram. Sony filed their complaint last week in California, and the complaint outlines numerous similarities from various marketing screenshots from both games to even the game descriptions. So here is the Light of Motiram description. In a world overrun by colossal machines, explore the vast open world, build your base of operations, advance technology, train mecha animals, and take on formidable bosses. Starting from the primitive age, forge a new path of development. So, Light of Motiram, just like Horizon, takes place in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by giant robot dinosaurs who roam at large and has a red-haired female protagonist with a very similar outfit and style to Aloy. They also have a device similar to Aloy's Focus earpiece. There's tribal groups and vast natural environments to explore. Now, the complaint Sony filed also cites headlines from gaming websites that include Kotaku, The Gamer, Game Rant, and even various Steam and Reddit comments that all speak on the similarities between the two games and Sony's likelihood of suing the developer and publisher of Light of Motiram. Motiram, because I keep saying it wrong. But what's interesting is Tencent began developing Light of Motiram back in 2023 and even approached Sony at the 2024 Game Developers Conference to ask for a licensing deal to develop its own Horizon game, which Sony turned down. And Tencent continued to develop Light of Motiram, which makes one inclined to believe they knew exactly what they were doing. Lastly, Sony is suing Tencent for copyright and trademark infringement, as well as false designation of origin. Sony is asking the court to forbid Tencent from infringing its copyright for costs and damages of up to $150,000 US for each separate work in Horizon that's been infringed, and demanding that Tencent deliver all infringing materials to Sony for destruction. However, Light of Motiram does have a Steam listing with no release date as of yet. So what I want to know is, what are your thoughts? Do you think Sony is in the right and that Light of Motiram is ripping off of the Horizon franchise? Let us know, guys, in the comments.
This one's a hard one to be like,
literally.
Wait, okay, so there are okay,
Crazy.
so we've seen a lot of the similarities in this game, but there are some small differences. For instance, this game by Tencent is actually supposed to be a multiplayer game versus what Horizon is. Horizon is a single player game. Also, what's interesting about this game is Tencent actually said to them, like, hey, I want to make this game for you. And they were like, no, we don't want it. But then they made it anyway. So
looking at this, though, that they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And what's crazy is there's also her device. We have Aloy's earpiece device. Well, they have a similar device, but it's not on her body. It floats around like a fucking ghost from Destiny.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's a ghost.
So I was like,
but okay.
Bungie, come help out Sony, I guess. You're already owned by them anyway.
True. I think we need to see still because, like you said, this game does not have a release date yet. They haven't even put out anything regarding any playtests, any betas.
Now, will I say would I love a multiplayer survival like base builder kind of game that's set in the world of Horizon? Absolutely. I would love and adore that. But there's also a company crossing the line. You know, like if they don't, if it is really like, I think this needs to be broken down more into how does this game work? What's the storylines, this and that. But if we're just going off of the visual cues we are getting from the trailers, wow, is this really bad? Like currently just going off the visual alone. It's not like the Pokemon and Pal World situation where Pokemon and the Nintendo company is just overreaching and being stingy pieces of whatever. This is very like, if we're looking at this though, it is very much like this looks like an absolute ripoff, but you're just making it multiplayer.
It does. It does look like a ripoff.
Like, why is
but also
why
but also
have to have red hair? Like, come on, guys. You're shooting yourself in the foot, Tencent.
But also, there's no game out for it yet. Like, Pal World and Pokemon, the games were out. And they were like, dude, hold up. Schedule 1 and the other one, the game was out. And they were like, dude, hold up. Yeah. Right. But this game's not even out. Like, none of us can literally sit there and say, yeah, it's a 1-for-1. Like, okay, yes, visually It looks like a 1-for-1, but we have no idea what the gameplay mechanics are. We have no idea if there's changes in the building part of it. Like, there's so many little things that I don't know about the game. We only know what the visuals are. And I'm sorry, but if those assets that they made are something that Sony got from an asset thing that anybody can get a hold of, those assets are free to use then.
Well, now that the lawsuit is ongoing and that it has been filed, there will be an investigation and we will be learning stuff soon. And honestly, I'm sure the release of this game is going to be delayed because of the lawsuit going on. But I'm not surprised or shocked that Sony is doing this by just going off of the visual cue of that reveal trailer.
Well, and okay, let me also preference too that this game by Tencent that's going to be coming out is going to be free.
Yes. It is meant to be a free-to-play game.
Yes. So we're not even looking at like Horizon in the sense of like paying for this game. It's going to be a free game. But I also wonder what are going to be the differences, because even just looking at the trailer on Steam, there are some things that don't look the same. Do you think we're going to see the same thing we saw with Pokemon and Sony being like changing stuff?
I don't actually currently I don't think so. I think that there is more grounds here for a lawsuit than Pokemon had.